I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jesse.
We're Cannabis School. Having cannabis-infused conversations
With everyday people,
cannabis companies,
celebrities,
and your mom.
welcome to the Sesh.
Nintendo.
Oh, the cost of Nintendo? Or
Yeah,
the
but
new Switch?
the new Switch. But did you see they pulled the pre-orders?
No.
From Europe and the US. We're not allowed to do pre-orders
Why?
because they're changing the price.
That's-
because nobody
yeah.
saw what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it's a bluff. It's like I would do with like proposals. How much is this going to cost me? $15,000. Fuck, I can't pay $15,000. Oh, well, let's figure out what we can do. And we get down to 8. They feel like they got a value.
And you're happy with what you got.
Right. Sometimes you got to, and sometimes it comes down to bullying. But this is funny. It's been a minute since I've had a joint.
I can't tell you the last time I had one, but it has been a minute. I don't do them very often.
Ooh, that's harsh. Like on the tongue? Sharp.
Yeah. Someone's out smoking a cig.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've been able to have a joint. And some of the reasons why is because it's so rough. The flavor. But this one's kind of nice. So it's got kind of coffee tones.
Also, joints usually stick more inside, and so I don't like doing it in the studio as much.
Oh no.
Just because then they do stick. And versus flour, it'll just dissipate it. You can open the doors, the windows, and then it goes away. But you know that I think it's the paper. That added change just makes it stick and linger way more. So I don't know about you guys. Do you guys smoke joints? Is that a go-to for you?
Yeah, has any of you guys tried that nasty shit, BudLove? I know, I don't want to give them hate. They
Wait.
sent us some stuff.
Comment below. When was the last time you smoked a J?
Yeah. When's the last time you had BudLove? BudLove. Anyways.
Oh, I was disappointed.
I really hated that.
Yeah, I know they say that it's great or does all this stuff, but it was not my jam.
No, it was odd. It was really odd. It's almost like they put some like Delta 8 flower shit in there.
Yeah,
And I know it's just like terps and shit, but
and a lot of cotton leaf. I think it was
cottonseed.
no
Cotton leaf?
It was something interesting that it was. I thought it was cotton leaf. Something interesting that bud leaf was made with.
So
No, marshmallow leaf. That's
what's this? What's this cone?
This is just Blazy Susan.
The ones I love, Juicy J's. I love Juicy J's.
Have you seen them in cones?
No.
Oh yeah,
I just
the
like the
wraps.
papers.
I do like the papers. I am terrible at hand rolling joints.
I'm not bad.
And so, because I never do it, I always use a roller. But soon we're actually going to have on Bruno, the roller. We missed him last week, and we're going to try and get him on hopefully next week.
Did he? Do you guys talk?
He sent me a message. I just haven't opened it. I've been so busy. I just need to get back to him.
Cool.
So
yeah. So like I was saying, so Nintendo, they're gonna hopefully change their prices. So I don't know about you guys, but I haven't got enough money to play fucking video games today, and now it's getting even more expensive.
yeah, well, when I was talking to a buddy about that, and he was telling me about like the game pricing and that too. Oh, and like some of the games are going to be $100 coming out with it.
Yeah, $80 to $100.
And you're like, that's a starting game then now for new games. And once that barrier is broken and introduced, so many of the games are going to jump from, no, we were 70 to, well, now we're 100. And that's just going to be the barrier to entry.
Well, you're going to pay all this money for a broke fucking game that's not going to work day
It's not
one.
fully developed.
And that's the thing. Like, they did this poll of wondering like what games people are playing right now. People are playing games more that are 5 to 10 years old now because they're frustrated because they're not getting games. They're getting broke shit.
It's all either the like weird indie ones that end up being good or like just pure garbage. And you're like, why is this what you're producing? But I have no idea.
It's corporate.
What have been the fun games that you guys have found recently that you've been into? We found Need for Speed Unbound, and it's been
I love it.
A love-hate relationship.
It's kind of hard because when you've been playing a game that's a simulator, I'm good.
It's way more realistic.
Well,
and it just...
I know why I don't smoke joints.
The flavor?
Oh my God. Oof.
Well, when you do every other method and you go, this isn't my favorite preferred method. The flavor's not the best. I don't mind the high. I actually really enjoy a high from a joint. But usually, and I didn't even think to bring it, usually when I use this, I put it in my happy camper with a filter. So then it tastes
little bit
delicious and smooth.
Yeah, because that filter pulls out all the garbage. But I will say that having a joint, there's nothing quite like the high that comes from that. That's what's so cool about cannabis, is that every different way you consume it, you're going to slightly get a different effect. Like, because
duration and set time and like everything.
Oh, dude, with the joint, that feels different from a bong, for sure. Like right now, I'm good, which is rare because a bong, dude, I could literally load a few bowls and I'd be solid. I'd be way solid. And that's the thing, like thinking about like which way you prefer to consume. I've got a good friend of mine. He only smokes joints.
Oh, really?
He only smokes joints.
Actually, the neighbor who had lived next door for a bit,
That guy lives in a Stone Temple.
That's dope.
It's a kid.
They can have good taste in music.
I know. They're listening to good music these days.
I know.
They ain't got nothing.
Well, it's Finn, my oldest. He listens to a lot of old shit, like so much great music. And I'm like I thought I had a pretty broad taste in music, and his blows mine out of the water. But he listens to way more metal than I do. Like, just tons of shit.
That makes sense.
Tons of jazz, like he listens to everything.
I think people that listen to metal usually either have an inside or an outside fire of kind of a little bit of anger.
That's when I was listening to more angrier music.
I always listen to metal. I mean, I listen to metal different times. Like when it's probably just getting a little too lightly packed towards the bottom.
It would be terrible.
Yep. Yeah, you really had to light that. Yeah, but anyways, like, why do I talk about video games so much, guys? I like entertainment. Not that I like to escape. I don't care to escape the world. I enjoy the world. I really do. I love people. I love everything around. I mean, I always drive around, dude. When I'm driving around, I just get, especially when I'm high, I just appreciate everything I see around me, like just the majesty of all of it. Like, and
I appreciate the mountains and
dude,
the trees.
but even this shit, like all
even
these
when they're
roads
naked
and
ugly and stuff.
Yeah. Like this one I have right over here to the left.
But I'm way more appreciative of just like everything, even the stupid simple stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. Every day I think about that, how awesome it is to be alive. And that's where I just look at all of it. I'm just like, man, I just like to be entertained too. And there was a time where games were like entertaining all the time. Like I played such a large variety. I remember I was playing like Jack and Daxter and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and
I
know Curtis is your brother.
And
he loves Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
He loves those games.
Yep. Well, we got in on the PS2.
Oh
into
yeah,
gaming, really. So
I love the PS2.
I felt like when we were doing that, we started with like ATV Off-Road 53 and 2 maybe, and then Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Smuggler's Run,
even the
and
PSP.
then Need for Speed.
Oh yeah,
got Need for Speed Underground and
Carbon. And
and then just kept
Most
going
Wanted
from there, and it was like, I love those. And then introduction of like Splinter Cell and
Hitman
games, the Rising Dawn or whatever it was. They were like older games from like all shooters, multiplayer shooters from like earlier wars. Medal of Honor.
Oh, games. Dude, those games were, the campaigns were awesome.
Yeah.
Like you
loved those.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't understand why. I mean, no, I do understand. The idea is like, it's like everything else out there that is created for entertainment, or they go through a golden era of just good stuff coming out all the time.
Creativity.
Yeah. Like a lot of people like used to give a lot of shade on 80s and 90s movies, and now people love 80s and 90s movies because
have you seen the other shit that gets produced?
Well, but exactly, dude. It was like my theory that the reason why a lot of Gen Xers like me and older have a really hard time when they try to integrate back into the world of dating or anything like that, or getting to know people when their kids leave, is because they don't have sitcoms anymore. Sitcoms kind of taught us like facial expressions and tonality. We didn't know it, but we were watching it. I mean, watch an episode of Friends. It's ridiculous, but all it is about communication. and the hilarious things that go on in life. But you notice that these people never hate each other.
Yeah.
They never hate each other. Like, what sitcom is full of anger? But now what do people watch? Nothing about people fucking hating each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always got some type of drama. Always. Either it's
Lots
the
of
dude on the
drama.
street with the YouTube channel going, how many dicks you sucked? And the girl gets mad or the guy gets mad.
You know
or
what I really liked?
they get
I
mad.
really liked Kim's Convenience.
Kim's Convenience. Tell me about
I mean,
that.
it was this like, I guess it's not really Korean, but it's like,
Damn, dude.
that
That's a really good joint.
family, right? I know.
I'm feeling
Thank you, Delicata Grapes.
Good. Mm.
Delicious. Fantastic feeling. No, Kim's Convenience. It's like this Canadian-Korean family, and they live up in Canada, but they have this convenience store, and it's around like the Asian man, like the Korean man and his family and all of that. But the Korean man is like my favorite character, Mr. Kim. He's fucking hilarious because it's just, you'd have to watch it, but he's probably, I don't know, mid-late 60s, early 70s kind of character. And just like, it's him, his wife, their daughter, and like their rebel son and that. But just it's hilarious. But it's this random, like, I don't know, I've never really watched Asian dramas or anything. I've never
Asian. Yeah.
you know, but to me this was like my first thing of like, oh yeah, this is a Korean show. But I don't think it actually is, but it's funny as hell. I think it's on Netflix.
Dude, Koreans have like this, like, you know, when you're talking about like Asian films, like I grew up on all that stuff because I did martial arts all growing up, and I had friends that they made movies, and then we'd make movies together.
Yeah.
And then one of us actually went out and still does movies to this day. Now, he doesn't do
That's
action
cool.
films. He does shitty little romance movies
yeah.
because there's a massive market for it, apparently. People love watching that. And
yeah. I mean, how many of those people at home are watching the Hallmark movies?
oh, dude. Well, and you got to think about it, man. Like, you think, why would people want to gravitate towards that? Because something's missing.
It's the only thing that's on too. My
But no,
grandma
but-
watches those sometimes.
But even that, it's almost like the same thing. Like, you ever hear about a pregnant woman all of a sudden eating fucking soil? You ever heard of that?
No.
I've heard of those things where
I've
women.
heard of them doing really weird things, but
Oh
I've
no!
not
Like,
heard of them
I've
eating
actually
soil.
heard, like, read this report, and the
Is it
reason
for the
why
minerals?
it was their body had a deficiency where it turned off, and the brain says we have to survive, and we know nutrients is there, and they've had that where women will eat things not just like, oh, pickles and ice cream, you know,
Yeah.
like some
Like the
crazy
weird ass
shit.
cravings, but like,
But it's
dirt.
almost like that. Fuck, I
That's
lost my
so
train
weird.
of thought.
I have no idea. We got from gaming
Weed.
to eating dirt. So
No, it was going somewhere with it.
what
No,
sort of seasonings do you put on your dirt?
Yeah, I don't know. That reminded me of, like, I should tell you some
Right.
the stories from the state hospital. There was this guy. He looked like the Wolf Man. His hair was always like standing up, and it was like really curly. And then his beard went really. It was like this. He looked like a compass needle. He was like this. Like his beard came
Like
down
he just
to a
got
point.
electrocuted in his hair.
Yes, and he was. And I think his name was.
How much styling glue do you think he used on a
No
daily basis?
styling goo. No.
It
That
was all just semen.
no, that's just straight up fun.
Keep it straight.
from
Not
not
washing his
showering
hair?
for months at a time
Oh.
because he didn't know. He was so psychotic, and this was the prison ward.
It's
So
gotta smell so bad.
yeah. I mean, when they come in, dude, because I was the lead supervisor for the afternoon, and when new patients would come in, they would come in cuffed up. Either they would come from the jail or from the prison. And when they get there, we would have to do a whole new inventory. So I had guys with me. They had to shower. We had to write down identifying body marks and stuff. Because you're
Yeah.
going into another prison facility that's
Oh, yeah.
run by random ass people that have
You guys won't
keys.
catch me. I got new tattoos now.
No, but you'd be surprised because, like, people try to escape from there, and I'll tell you a funny story about that later. But anyways, this guy, dude, he was out in this little courtyard, and it was like the most dehumanizing place I've ever seen. But because we housed some of the worst child predators, worst rapists.
And they're just put in there as mental health ones. 'Cause
No, they are
get-
mentally ill. They are
Oh,
severely
They're
mental.
actually mentally ill.
Psychotic. We had this one guy come in there. He snapped. He was like this high-end engineer. He used to build bridges like out in the middle of fucking nowhere, like real cool ones. He actually, what was the bridge? Anyway, he snapped and he chased he threatened his wife, and his wife ran to like the county, to get to the county to sheriff's office.
Police, yeah.
And he stabbed her to death right on the fucking steps with a fucking screwdriver.
By the crap.
Because he believed that she was doing something. So these are the type of people that would come.
Yeah.
But it was like
horrendous.
It was split half and half. There were some people that were there that were
took a plea of, hey, I'm psycho, and then
no, they're trying.
Oh, they're trying to get a plea.
Like we had this one dude, he was an Aryan guy. Fucking, he's got the spider web. He's been there for a bit. He's got a swastika here.
I'm not familiar
He's got
with the
lightning
spider
bolt. So the spider web will talk about years you've been in.
Oh.
The swastika, you
There's a
have.
swastika.
Well,
yeah.
sometimes you can do the swastika and the lightning bolts, like the SS lightning bolts means how many people you've killed. There's all these different identifying marks that we had to learn about because you could tell from what gang they were from if they were affiliated. This guy, he was white. I mean, white power all the way.
Yeah.
He would go to the end of the hall when we first got him in. He was so buff. And it was kind of intimidating because we usually get a lot of fat asses and a lot of like
It is America.
Dude, he's just like, most of them, maybe big dudes, skinny dudes, but never like really fit dudes. And he comes in and he's all sheepish doing this. And I'm like, okay. And whatever his name was, I'm calling his names. And then I'm like, okay, guys, let's get him his clothes. Let's introduce him to his room. Make sure he's on watch. I want somebody on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's go from there. He's acting all nice and sweet. Next morning, bawling at the end of the hallway for a good half hour. Weird.
Yeah.
Like hard crying. And then...
like the ugly cry.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then that guy I told you about, the ice pick dude, he started getting meds in him, reality started to settle in. He was trying to make a shiv to kill himself. Now, this place had cameras everywhere, glass everywhere, like plexiglass.
Uh-huh.
But he had gone into the bathroom and pulled a bolt out of the wall. We don't know how he...
down.
Well, he's an engineer. So he figured out how to leverage and pull it out. Yeah. He is making it right by people that were supposed to be watching him. A lot of these staff are just horrible about what they do, but he was making that, and the crying Aryan dude,
covering it up,
snapped. He goes, "Is that for me? Is that for me? You trying to get me? Who sent you?" And it was just like, that's when the real him came out. He would get up in the morning. He would do 100 pull-ups, no pause, on his fingertips on the edge of the door frame. And it's all steel doors. Yeah. And then
you only got like quarter inch, maybe half an inch that your fingers are.
Well, he would do a game called Four Aces with a whole deck of cards. And you throw down 3 cards, and then you do push-ups. If it's a face card, it's worth 10. If it's an ace, it's 25. Now, you can choose to set it aside and then just do that later, or you can add them up. So at the very end, you have to do 100 push-ups. This guy would do the full deck in 30 minutes.
Holy shit.
And then we'd take him out to the courtyard. And the courtyard's like a regular prison yard. It goes straight up, and then it comes over here, and there's razor wire all around the top.
Yeah.
It's like 30 feet high, and then it's like at a cant, and then razor wire. It was probably about the size of half of the football field, of a regular high school football field. Yeah. He would sprint run it the entire time we were out there, only for 30 minutes. To go for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then he'd get in line, not breathing hard.
No, because he's used to doing this type of
every
stuff.
day.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
My guys are like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, most of you guys look like 150 pounds worth of chewed bubble gum. So as soon as this shit goes down, I need my biggest dudes up front. And he never lost it because we became good friends, and he thought I was Aryan.
Yeah.
Because I'm white.
Yep.
And I have a shaved head. And he was just like, cool.
Yep.
Like, he'd come talk to me all the time. So what's up, brother? I mean, little you know, I was half Mexican. He would have been so upset. But dude, you get guys like that.
Oh yeah.
And that was
James works to the present, and I hear stories about that all the time. I'm like, man, we got back on our happy topics.
No, these are funny. But no, I mean, it was some of the stuff that you would see there was the funniest stuff. But I'll tell you about one with a staff member that was crazy. So we had a prison ward, the female prison ward, and there was females only in there. I think they had a couple males, but they're pretty much like eunuchs. Anyways, one of the staff members there, my friend Ken, was this old kind of like pervy dude. He was dude, this guy was in his 60s pulling like 19, 20-year-olds when we worked at the hospital together.
Okay.
And they used to have a lot of hot chicks working over there. Like you would never think like hot chicks working at a mental hospital, but a lot of them. And they're all damaged goods, so they were just right for the picking. But Ken was like, oh, yeah, these are nice girls. That's how he sounded.
That's hilarious.
But dude, no, anyways,
pulling on the tail.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on a different subject.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just lost my train of thought.
This is some good stuff.
Dude, this is
what
really
time do you
good.
have to head out to your kiddos? It's 10 till 2.
Like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
All right. Yeah, we can just chat for a little bit more. And I don't know. We kind of figured we'd come outside today, have a recording outside, because it's just been so cold through the winter and kind of gross. And it's just been so beautiful today. And just kind of getting out of the house, getting into the sun, just felt like a very nice.
Oh, yeah. And
nice
I already
view.
feel it too, man. Like, if you guys aren't getting outside, or you really need to, because it's just, it's so much nicer right now. And,
at least where we are.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is where you are too.
Well, and you know what? This is a great time. Brandon talks a lot about doing church. You guys should think about doing that too. Get together with your local community of fellow bud connoisseurs.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? Some of the coolest conversations come out of that. Friendships being made just from simple sharing of some good flower. So,
and I do miss that. I miss having church. We should do that again, because I feel like it was a great thing to do for Sunday. I'm going to have a lot of time in the summer. Kids are going to be gone. I'm going to have nothing to do for a bit. Maybe that's perfect time for church.
yeah.
So,
Well, it'd be good just to.
well, maybe with the new development and that, you and stuff will come out sometime and we'll do some church too. A lot of other states, they might have actual events going on 420. However, with 420 falling on Easter Sunday, I also wonder how many places are going to have it fall on 419 instead of 420. I don't know. I'm very curious.
I think that would be better to do, because that's going to be
I was like, Easter Sunday's for a lot of people,
that's a hard.
it's a big thing for them to I don't know.
Plus, a Saturday's easier.
I feel like more people, more businesses are open, more things like that. At least, definitely here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't actually feel like I experience anywhere near as many businesses closed outside of Utah. There are some cities and some places where there's
Salt Lake still feels like its own place here in Utah, because when you go up there, it's completely different. Just certain stores and restaurants. But I always thought was really funny is that, the whole thing about, keeping the Sabbath day holy, don't go out to eat or anything like that.
or shop.
But then on conference, the general up there, everybody go eat at JB's.
Oh, that's funny.
That place is packed. And it's just like,
Man.
yeah, and I get that, but dude,
Yeah.
JB's, that was a good place, man. It was such a good place.
I used to have one down in Spanish Fork too.
Oh man, I miss all the good places that you used to be able to go out to eat, because that was all. You know what I miss? I miss 3 a.m. conversations at Denny's with shitty coffee and awful food.
I did have
missed
a
it.
few of those, and they were fun.
Yeah, just good times.
Yeah.
The
I don't
food, man.
Yeah, the food not so much.
But I think about really good food. I don't want to talk. I just want to enjoy my food.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, the problem is you have to go in and make it not a. When I go in, my problem is I go in with I'm eating like I did when I grew up, and that's hurry and eat, get done, go do your shit. And so I realize when I go to these nicer places, I don't have to rush. I can order an appetizer and take my time eating it, munching it, and when my meal gets here, I don't have to rush. I can just sit back and savor a bite and go, this is pretty fucking tasty. And talk about stuff, because my problem is that I always was in a rush, and it was, every meal was growing up, I remember seeing how fast I could eat it, because my dad was always faster. And that's because he grew up in a family of 8 kids, and if you didn't eat fast, all the food was gone and you didn't get any. So that's just kind of how it worked. And I'm like, it's very different. I don't have to eat like that. I don't have to
No.
rush. I don't have to race. There's times that I can just enjoy the company, enjoy the meal, and just go, hey, I'm here for the experience and I don't have to race. But the problem is subconsciously, my mind, I think it's just unconsciously I do. And so I'm like always like, oh, okay. And then
Yeah, it's a learned behavior.
oh shit, my food's all gone. And they're like barely starting.
No, I didn't really have that. I mean, I just ate, but it was the military, man. Like
Probably
you didn't have
similar.
time.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't just enjoy a meal. You had to, and it's not because death was happening,
No.
war. It was just you were told that.
It's a priority of time. And
Yeah.
time was like, you don't take a lot of time to sit and enjoy. It's like working with my dad. It's like, oh, hey, all right, the other day, he had to go get something. And I was like, oh, well, if we're leaving, we might as well get food because that doesn't open till this point, and we might, and he's like, well, oh, that's what it was. I had to pee. There was no bathroom in that apartment because we had torn out both the toilets.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in there yet. It's being totally remodeled. I'm like, shit, so if I have to pee, I have to leave and go somewhere else. And then he's like, well, if we're leaving, we might as well go get these parts. And I'm like, why would we go get parts? If all I'm doing is going to the bathroom, there's one down the street at your house, like 2 blocks away. Going to get parts for something we're not even doing today, half across town, doesn't make any sense. And if we're leaving and going down there, we might as well get food then.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, oh, well, just pee in the tub then. Rinse it down with water because the water works. It was like,
Oh
but
my
he never
gosh.
stops to eat or do anything. It's more of the like, hey, and if it is, hey, we're getting food, it's all right, we're going to go through the drive-thru. You can eat on the drive back. And by the time we get back, we're working. So that's usually how
Which is so funny. It's
working
like
was.
he works like he's got a boss.
Yeah, and he works like he's got this deadline in front of him, and if he doesn't hit it 10 weeks ahead of anyone else's schedule, he's gonna die, and so does everyone around him. And it's just
a lot
so
of
weird.
control.
Like, I was talking to who was it? Someone, and I was telling him that this was like the fourth. Oh, my buddy who also does construction stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, we've done 4 total apartment remodels in like 2 months. And he was like, what? And I'm like, he's like, that's a ton. I mean, yeah. It's just one to the next to the next. And usually it's like, I'm lazy for him, but yeah, I still feel like I have way more, like I get way more done and productivity than a lot of people, even in construction half the time.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's understandable why it's so important to make sure that things are a certain way with how you prefer them, right?
With how I grew up, it's just everything was.
No,
Yeah.
it's a rush. I'm super laid back. I'm way laid back.
See, and me smoking weed, this is me laid back. I was way more uptight when I didn't.
Oh,
Because it was like everything, but that's because that's how I grew up. Was everything had to be this way, and now I'm like smoking weed and realizing it doesn't. I like to know so I can plan stuff, but as long as I know and I can plan it, it's like, all right, fuck it. Like I've got this time, I can do this, like But usually it's my issues.
No, that's a good point you're bringing up because, it's like this thing I've struggled with sometimes. Like my 9-year-old, he wants to wrestle. Like he loves WWE.
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
know that. And every night he wants to have a match. He tells me what wrestler I am and he is. And we get physical and I'm throwing him around. But there's just sometimes, dude, where I'm just not in the mood. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. And then that thing seeps into my head like, well, what are you doing right now? And I think less like that.
Yeah.
When I've got
Cannabis.
a good amount of cannabis, because the only thing I want to do in cannabis is be in the moment. And it's a thing. Like I full on admit, like somebody had asked me again, they go, you feel like you're addicted to cannabis? I'm like, oh yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Right. It's like
I'm addicted to being more present as a father. Being a better, happier person, not being
nicer.
as much of an asshole,
not as stressed.
Yeah, it's funny because we have talks all the time, and I'm just continuously surprised. For someone who doesn't feel like they're religious, I am just continuously surprised how many of my discussions actually are surrounding spirituality or religion in a sense.
Yeah, I go off of the faith. I mean, I've dropped this whole thing of religious because religious means that that little
Struggling
thing
to
is
get up the
making
hill.
that sound.
It's because it's such a tiny motor and they're trying to get up that
Is that a
hill.
John Deere?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John Deere's a piece of shit.
Yeah, they have the big name, but they always have
They
issues.
should just buy golf carts.
My grandpa had 2 John Deere tractors and they always had issues. And
Oh, that thing sounds like it can't even breathe.
I know, probably can't. They probably need to change the air filter.
No, but the religious moniker, it just kind of shows, like I said, I belong to clan such and such, and which is totally fine. Some people really need it, but
Yeah.
you know, the thing for me is I like the faith of it because it's hope. It's different. It's not about being right or being the one who has the answers. It's just another one to be able to. I don't need anybody else to be on the same page as me. If I start acting nice to people all the time, guess what, motherfucker?
They're
People
gonna
start.
be nice to you.
Holy shit! And guess what?
Yep.
They love that feeling, and they want to do it again with somebody else.
Yep.
And then the moment you gate it off,
Well, the thing is, and I kind of think about it, is most of the things that we do, our interactions, our exchanges with other people are, they say a smile, pass it on. But I think truly every interaction that we're having with someone, we are passing on, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's a smile, whether it's flipping the bird, whether it's, whatever it is, we pass on that energy to that next person and they're angry and then maybe they haven't, and like, it continues.
dude, go out in the world today. Go anywhere. Go into a supermarket. Go to a fast food place, and you see a person that works there. They look like fuck my life.
Yeah. I actually did a Jesse thing the other day when I was somewhere and I was like, thank you for being here. Like,
Cool. That was
I
good. Good
appreciate
for
you
you.
being here. Like, and they just kind of like, thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that really took absolutely nothing. And they just felt
You changed their
appreciated
day,
and
dude.
seen for like just what they're doing, even though they feel like it's fucking stupid and they hate it.
Oh man, I like even where was it? Well, I was just at a store and I just told the guy, I was like, hey man, I really appreciate you being here. Hell, I took something back from an Amazon order.
Mhm.
And I just returned it over there.
Yeah.
And it was in the morning and I just dropped my kids off to school and I brought it in there and she goes, oh hi, she's meeting me, real happy. And I said, hey, how are you? And just went into all that and I said, hey, at the very end, I said, hey, I really appreciate you being here. She goes, I'm just doing my job. And because of that, that's why I'm very appreciative. Thank you. And I do that every time because I think about if I have that job, no matter what it is, I don't want to be thought of as lesser than. I want to be seen as somebody that's valued, important. Like those people who work at like Denny's or fucking places like that back in the day.
Or the janitor or anywhere else. Like it's the same thing of like they have just as much value as a person as I do.
But it's not about the money over there. It's about the service. And I think it's one of the things where the value starts to go up. It's like, fucking poor person, pick up my dog shit.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like those type of people would be revered in a smaller community. If you had the person that goes, this is the guy that guts and quarters the deer.
Yep.
This is his job. Like
That's
in
what they
like in Red Dead 2, right? You got the guy, oh, Mr. Marston, hey, you brought over a deer. You got that guy and you throw it over. I mean, he's
because
gutting
everyone's got a value or a skill that they have. Or
but how valuable is that person? Not only,
valuable.
Invaluable. And so every single person that we meet and interact with, they're invaluable. I look less with judgment now and more of compassion. Like instead of looking at some dude who looks a little funky, maybe he got fucked on the genetic part. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
why would that be their fault?
Yeah, and why am I making? And I look at him, and my old self would be like, nah, like thinking like a Family Guy thing. And then immediately,
I was a dick. I would tease and make fun of anyone because I was like, oh, but myself too.
No, my favorite person to make fun of was bullies.
Oh, yes.
I hated bullies.
Yes.
And I beat up a lot of bullies.
That was usually where mine would come out because the bullies were the ones that would piss me off. And that I can be very snarky and very like just fucking smart at. Yeah, I know. So I try not to be. And just sometimes it would come out. And usually it's with bullies and stuff. And it's the stuff that you have these minds and it pops up like that. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't say that. But
Well, my thing when I was growing up and still to this day is I have a big heart for those with Down syndrome, and
or any
oh, dude,
disability or whatever it's
Down
called
syndrome.
now.
The reason why, like, I would see these kids get picked on when I was growing up,
Yeah.
because I grew up around like a lot of white trash kids,
Okay.
and because they didn't know any better, because they got ignorant parents too.
Yeah.
But this one kid, man, he was getting picked on in junior high, and I just watched him leave these kids, and he was crying, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Nothing." I said, "Were those guys bugging you?" And he's just like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Come with me." And I went over there and I just started yelling at them, and they knew who I was, and they'd seen me fight kids, and they didn't want to fight. And I was like, "You either fucking leave him alone or I'll kick your ass." And it was funny because that kid ended up being a good friend of mine. Later on, his brother, who made those movies that I was a part of.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that kid, he passed away during COVID.
Ah, man.
Yeah, he got
That's tough.
intubated. He was really bad. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like that, man. I just
Hey,
yeah, we gotta go.
we love you. Get outside.
Please
Tune in next week.
get it, Tamagotchi or whatever.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
Tamagotchi.
yeah, Tamagotchi.
That get you outside?
No, take care.